the issues affecting Asia's animals and the stories of the people working on their behalf. We'll be taking you on a tour of what's been happening lately in the animal protection space around Asia, and also bringing you updates from our huge network of animal protection organizations and our many working groups. Welcome to the Asia for Animals podcast.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of the AFA podcast. My name is Lauren. I'm the lead coordinator of the Asia for Animals Coalition, and today we're going to talk about turtles. So on May 23rd, we're celebrating International Turtle Day, which is the perfect opportunity for us to talk more in depth about these amazing animals. This podcast episode is part of AFA's recently launched project called One Life. You can learn more about One Life in previous episodes, and we also released our first One Life episode a few weeks ago in honor of International Macaque Week. But in summary, One Life is a database of education resources which NGOs can use to promote concepts of animal sentience. The idea is that any organization can use the presentations and the articles as templates to deliver educational talks in schools, for example, which in turn will help people understand the ways in which animals share many cognitive and emotional abilities as well as needs with humans, and therefore why they deserve our respect and protection. So we're very excited to extend all of this material to these podcast episodes, and so that everyone can learn more about animals and their sentience. But not everyone might be familiar with the concept of sentience. So sentience is the ability for individuals to experience sensations and emotions such as pain, joy, fear, or grief. So humans are sentient beings, and One Life delves into the sentience of animals. Animal sentience is more and more acknowledged on the scientific and also on the political scene, with over 30 countries in the world, such as Spain, Sweden, Tanzania, New Zealand, or the UK, recognizing animals as sentient beings. In this episode, and to celebrate International Turtle Day, we're going to learn about turtles, about their sentience, and just everything about them that makes them so special. But first of all, let's look at the difference between a turtle and a tortoise. All tortoises are in fact turtles. They all belong to the order Testudines or Chelonia, which are reptiles having bodies encased in a shell. But not all turtles are tortoises. The most important thing to remember is that tortoises are exclusively land creatures. They can't swim. In this episode, we're mostly going to talk about sea and freshwater turtles, not tortoises, even though we'll mention them later on as well. Sea turtles rarely leave the ocean except to lay eggs in the sand, which we are going to talk about extensively in this episode. And freshwater turtles live in ponds and lakes, and they climb out of the water onto logs or rocks to bask in the warm sun. So turtles are truly prehistoric animals. They've been on Earth for more than 200 million years, and they've survived severe climate changes such as those that have led, for example, to the extinction of the dinosaurs. And they also live all over the world in almost every type of climate. So one of the things that make turtles so unique is obviously their shell. So how much do you know about a turtle's shell? Well, a turtle's shell is a modified rib cage and parts of their vertebral column. The shell is made up of about 60 bones that are covered by plates, and these plates are called scutes. Scutes are made of keratin, which is the same material that makes up humans' fingernails. All turtles except sea turtles are able to retract their heads and feet into their shells to protect themselves from predators. So apart from their shells, we've all seen, either in real life or on photos or in videos, turtles and their eggs on sandy beaches. And you might have been wondering why they do this, or how the newly hatched turtles know how to just go straight for the ocean. So let's delve a bit further into this really, really fascinating behavior. Sea turtles have an exceptional ability to locate their place of hatching and to lay their own eggs on the very same beaches they were born on. And as if this wasn't incredible enough, the hatchlings use the moonlight to find their way to the sea, where they'll spend the rest of their lives, swimming over many thousands of miles in search of food and returning many years later, when they're ready to lay eggs themselves, to the exact same beach on which they were born. So when they hatch, turtles have obviously never been in the ocean, but they immediately establish courses towards the open sea and then they maintain those. Young juvenile turtles follow complex migratory pathways that often lead across entire ocean bases and then back. So a significant part of a turtle's navigational skill involves magnetoreception, which is the ability to detect the Earth's magnetic field. So the Earth's field is one of several cues that guide newly hatched turtles as they migrate offshore for the very first time. Farther out to sea, magnetic fields unique to different geographic areas function as navigational markers that prompt changes in swimming direction at crucial points in their migratory route. Without that, turtles might otherwise just stray off course. In addition to providing directional information, the Earth's field also provides a potential source of positional information. The intensity, which is the strength of the field, and the inclination or the tilt of the field lines both vary predictably across the globe, so that each region of the ocean typically has a very unique magnetic field associated with it. Turtles can detect both magnetic field intensity and magnetic inclination angles. So juvenile and adult turtles, as they gain experience with their habitat, learn the magnetic topography of the areas where they live, and they eventually develop magnetic maps that they use to navigate back to the beaches they hatched on. It's still not completely evident how these amazing animals detect the geomagnetic field, but it's possible that tiny magnetic particles in their brains help them to achieve this phenomenal act. Whatever the mechanism, it clearly helps sea turtles find their birthplace so they can reproduce, usually on accessible beaches that have soft sand, the right temperatures, and also few predators. So most freshwater and sea turtle species lay their eggs in a perceived safe place. They bury them in the sand for protection, and as far as we're aware, the parents play no further role in the raising of their young. However, recent research has shown that at least one species, the giant South American river turtle, does take parental care of their offspring, communicating with their hatchlings whilst they are still in the egg, after they hatch, and also when they reach the water. The giant South American river turtle is the largest freshwater turtle in South America. It's one of the most social species of turtles, and individuals migrate together, they nest communally, and they also hatch in large numbers together. The very idea that turtles can communicate with each other using sound is rather new. Turtles lack vocal cords and their ears are internal. So for many years, researchers simply assumed that turtles had little to no ability to hear. This knowledge has changed in recent years as we've learned that some species of tortoises make barking noises. Others may sound like wiring motors, for example, and some even make belching noises. The red-footed tortoise, which lives in South America, makes clucking sounds a bit like a chicken, whilst the Egyptian tortoise sings when it's mating. And one of the reasons it's taken us so long to learn about these sounds is that turtles communicate at frequencies in the lower range of the human audible spectrum. Just like whales, turtles probably use these frequencies because the sounds can travel long distances underwater. The giant South American river turtles use clicks and clucks to call to their hatchlings whilst they are still inside the egg, and this is thought to help stimulate the group to emerge all at once. But to go back to parental care, unlike other turtle species that hatch en masse, giant South American river turtles receive the parental care of their mothers as soon as they reach the water. The mums wait in the area where they have laid their eggs for up to 2 months, and once ready, they start calling out to the babies and migrate together. As of yet, this is as far as our knowledge extends with regards to the extent of their relationship. But it's likely that with an ability to recognize each other individually, relationships between mother and offspring may well continue as the young grows. So now that we know a bit more about turtles and their ecology, we cannot not mention turtle conservation and also the threats that they face. So sadly, many species of turtles are endangered. 129 out of approximately 300 species of turtle and tortoises on Earth are either vulnerable, endangered, or critically endangered, according to the IUCN, which is almost half of the species. Threats include loss of habitat, poaching, and the illegal pet trade. And the world in general is just a dangerous place for sea turtles. For decades, these amazing aquatic animals have suffered due to hunting, over-harvesting of their eggs, loss of nesting beaches, and also pollution. Fishing also poses a danger, with thousands of sea turtles accidentally caught in nets and other equipment every year. Of the 7 known species of sea turtles, 6 are critically endangered, meaning that they face an imminent risk of extinction. To illustrate some of these threats, let's look at 2 specific examples. So, we know that the giant South American river turtles rely on communication to enable hatching and migration. So we need to determine what effect shipping noise might have on them. There's already plenty of evidence that the noise creating by oil and gas exploration is detrimental to a wide variety of marine animals. So turtles are most probably also at risk. Unfortunately, this species is also under threat from the illegal wildlife trade and local appetites. Brazilians prize turtle eggs as a delicacy, and the turtle themselves are often slaughtered for meat. A recent trend towards dam building in Brazil also presents severe threats to their habitat. And while the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, currently lists the giants as being of least concern, the Tortoise and Freshwater Specialist Group has strongly recommended a change in status to endangered. Following a decline in the number of the giant South American river turtles due to egg collecting and meat, a group of community members living in the Brazilian Amazon created biodiversity hotspots along a section of the Jurua River, safeguarding beaches from the illegal activity, and egg harvesting has plummeted on beaches under their watch. During the 5 to 6 month long summer dry seasons, local watch over the sand of 14 beaches from a wooden hut 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And in exchange for their constant vigilance, they receive a monthly stipend of food items worth about $110, from a partnership between government agencies and universities. Their efforts have radically altered the protected beaches. So thanks to the community member guards, the number of South American river turtle nests on protected beaches have skyrocketed. 11 times more nests inhabit the beaches than 40 years ago. The number of hatchlings born on the guarded sands has likewise multiplied. And compared to unprotected beaches in the area, there's 50 times more nests that occupy protected beaches. So the conservation efforts extended beyond the giant South American river turtle, with green iguana nests that have become 7 times more abundant on the protected beaches compared to unprotected ones in the region. Migratory bird nests boomed, with protected beaches hosting 8,700 nests compared to less than 400 on unprotected shores. The conservation efforts strengthen insect and fish population too. Even in protected conservation areas, the watchful eye of locals made a difference. Poachers harvested 99% of nests not under surveillance in conservation areas. In contrast, egg robbing plunged to just about 2% on guarded beaches, meaning that the biodiversity boom was thanks to the dedicated labor of locals more than the protected status of the land. The second example is in regards to turtles in Nicaragua. Every year, thousands of turtles come ashore along the beaches of the South Pacific coast of Nicaragua to lay their eggs. The female turtles return to the beaches on which they were born to lay an average of 100 ping-pong ball-shaped eggs into nest holes dug out of the sand. The beaches in this region are of global importance for nesting turtles, including endangered olive ridley turtles and critically endangered Pacific leatherback and hawksbill turtles. But sadly, these turtles face some sinister threats at the hands of humans. For example, turtle eggs may be poached by marginalized local communities for income, which significantly threatens turtle populations in the region. And on top of that, the prevalence of plastic bags on nesting beaches poses a risk as well, as these are known to be consumed by turtles and also causing harm to them. So Fauna and Flora International have pioneered a turtle conservation program in the region to tackle these threats. So this program includes community ranger patrols, community hatcheries, raising awareness, and supporting local people to find sustainable sources of income, for example, through the Weaving for Nature initiative. So Weaving for Nature was launched in 2007, and it involves the formation of women's weaving groups. So those groups collect plastic bags that are polluting the beach, and the women weave these bags into products for sale, mainly for tourists. The aim is to increase the household income of these women, thereby decreasing their incentive to poach turtle eggs, and at the same time to reduce the amount of plastic pollution on important turtle nesting beaches, but also obviously to lower the risk of turtles consuming plastic bags. The initiative has been promoted across a number of communities in the region now. These communities were known to be poaching turtle eggs, including many of the weavers and their families. So these sites also had really high levels of plastic waste. So because there's a high concentration in human population attracted to the areas because of the potential income from egg poaching. And on top of that, there is also a lack of waste disposal facilities, which has led to the widespread discarding of plastic into the environment. So Weaving for Nature has successfully contributed to a wider program of work that has improved turtle conservation. In particular, this initiative has provided families previously reliant on turtle poaching with sustainable livelihood options and has also changed attitudes towards turtle conservation. For example, during the 2017-2018 nesting season, 100% of the 9 leatherback turtle nests were protected from poaching in Chacocente, which is a globally important area for nesting turtles, which resulted in the release of 137 leatherback hatchlings to sea, whereas 100% of all nests were poached prior to 49 Flora International's intervention. The initiative has also successfully increased household income. It's helped to channel an average of $100 extra per month back to each weaver, contributing a significant portion of the household income in a region where the average salary is estimated to be around $200 per month in a fishing household. On top of that, the women were a disadvantaged group within these marginalized communities, so the initiative has brought them together so that they share a common purpose, and it has boosted their sense of empowerment and motivation. Another threat that turtles face is captivity. Many thousands of sea turtles are housed in really poor quality conditions within aquariums and ocean parks across the world, forced to live within an unnatural environment and confined within small aquariums. So if you do visit establishments that have turtles, please only support those that have truly rescued sea turtles and have explored all available options to return these individuals back to the wild in which they belong. Do not support facilities that take sea turtles from the wild to display in aquariums, for example. It's always important to do your research before visiting any facility or venue that has animals. As a tourist or as a traveller, it is our responsibility to make sure we don't support places that cause animal cruelty, animal suffering, or that put at risk entire populations in the wild. I hope this episode helped you learn more about turtles, how many species there are, how they navigate their environment, how crucial their conservation is, how they communicate, and much more. So don't hesitate to share this episode with any other turtle lover. I know there's a lot of us out there, and we will be back soon with more One Life episodes that delve into the life and sentience of animals. In the meantime, we release AFA podcast episodes every week around a wide variety of animal-related topics, so make sure to check those out. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. You can find everything you need to know about our work and connect with us at asiaforanimals.com. Tune in for the next episode. Asia for Animals Coalition, a united voice for Asia's animals.